Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety and just one of the different personality aspects that can influence and increase our anxiety. If you're wondering where I'm getting this information, it is from this workbook, the Anxiety and Phobia Workbook. Really great stuff in here. I feel like a lot of therapists have this one. This is going to be turning into a series about the different personality types or styles that may increase anxiety. So let's get to it. So let's start with what anxiety is. So this is our mental and physical reaction to a threat. Usually though, it's way more than it needs to be, depending. Now, some anxiety is fine, right? You know, it helps you get through the day. You remember something, you're like, okay, I need to take care of that. Maybe you worry about it for a little bit of the day, but it's not too overwhelming. Anxiety that is diagnosed is mainly you're so overwhelmed, so stressed out, you can only maybe focus on that one thing, but it's tearing down your whole day, really interfering with your day-to-day. So here are some types of anxiety. We have the generalized anxiety, you're going about your day-to-day and you're stressed out, overwhelmed about a number of things surrounding your life, right? So this could be your financial situation, housing situation, all those kinds of things. Another type of anxiety is the phobias. I'm sure we all know about these: fear of water, fear of spiders. This is where we have that over-intense fear of a certain object or a situation. And the last type of anxiety is panic. So this is where you're going to have those panic attacks. Now, there are some positives to anxiety where you can be more creative, more empathic, have a higher emotional intelligence, right? Whereas the traits we cover in this video are going to be more of the negative aspect, how it aggravates our anxiety and decreases our self-confidence. Now, you may not have this one, and this is going to be a whole series, and you might have another one, but for today, we're focusing on perfectionism. So perfectionism has two aspects to it. I feel like I keep saying aspect throughout this video. The first part is having high unrealistic expectations for yourself, others, or life in general. So when these aren't met, we tend to be disappointed or critical. The second part is we tend to be over-concerned with our flaws and mistakes within ourselves or our accomplishments. So how do we fix this? How do we change it? Well, we're gonna have to make a pretty big shift in our attitude and perspective to life. So let's start. So first, we're gonna let go of the idea that our worth is determined by our accomplishments, our achievements. So let me ask you a question. Are you going to allow the world to have the last word on your value as a person? Let's do an example of Hamilton, and I'm mainly thinking about the musical. So Hamilton in the play is very focused on his legacy, right? Making sure everybody knows his name, wanting to make a great impression on the world. You know, a whole revolution has started. We all want to make a name for ourselves. Think of us now, right? All the social media, we all want to go viral, do something, right? But we're basically letting the world give us that value. By you being born, you being here today, you're already worthy. You're already a valuable person in this world, even if you don't feel like it. Your worth is no less and no more than the other. As much as society would like to place more value on others, society is a social construct. Being a sociology major in my undergrad, everything is just a social construct. Nothing means nothing. You're born, you're worthy, you know? World gave you life, universe gave you life, whatever you believe in gave you life. You're here for a reason, whatever your reason you want it to be. But you have value and you are worthy. Next, let's recognize and overcome our perfectionistic thinking styles. So this can include that should, must thinking. I should be farther than where I am today. I should have a career. I should have a house. Let's pause. Yeah, things may not be where you want it to be, but you are doing it, right? You're taking your time, you're doing the best I can. And one of my favorite words is try. You're trying your best, right? You're trying to get through the day. All you can do is try. So the next thinking style is the all or nothing thinking. This is all wrong. I just can't get it right. Again, let's pause. Let's think of a counter statement for that. Not all of this is wrong. These parts are okay. Just these parts need a bit more attention. Just be more patient with yourself. Things will come along as they may. And the last thing it styles overgeneralization. I always mess things up. I'm just gonna mess it up again. Maybe in this moment in time, it's not working out, but you can always go back and correct things. If not, just know for the next time, you can always make the changes whatever they are. I'm going to try and challenge you, go through the week, try to catch yourself if you're having these thinking styles. You know, maybe you'll have a comment of like, oh, I should have done that. And be like, oh, I just had that thought. You can pause and think of a counter statement. Like, yeah, I could have done that, but past is past. Let's see what we can do better next time, right? The next thing we can do is to stop magnifying our small errors. What is life if we don't make mistakes or have setbacks, right? Everybody's going to experience them at some point. Now remember, it's small errors. So you want to think to yourself, is this going to matter a week from now? A month? A year? Probably not, because we'll be focused on the next mistake that we made. No, I'm just kidding. So think of those questions when a small error is made so it can keep you from going into that anxiety spiral. The next thing we can do is focus on the positives. Easier said than done, right? I'm sure so many people in your life have probably told you, hey, look on the bright side. Yeah, that can be tough. We tend to ignore the positives that have happened, whether through the week, the day, and just focus on the one negative thing. So I encourage you to try to take inventory, whether it's at the end of the day, end of the week. Try to find at least one thing that was positive for you. It could be something small, like you got up today, which is amazing. You could be watching this video right now, trying to gain some more skill on how to deal with perfectionism. Beautiful. Maybe you completed some small steps to your goals. Anything that you can focus on that is positive. Now we're going to work on goals that are realistic. Remember, if we have too high of expectations, we're going to be disappointed and we're just going to be even more critical. So how can we get to where you want to be? You know, do you have to take this step first, that step? Maybe talking with a friend to figure out what goals are realistic for you. Next, it's time to create more pleasure and recreation in our life. With perfectionism, we tend to be rigid. We tend to be self-denying. If I failed at this certain thing, why should I reward myself? But you did the best you could. You can reward yourself just a little bit. At least you tried. You put yourself out there. You did what you could. Let's try and find that enjoyment in life that reverses that trend of self-denying and being rigid. Let's just chill and have some me time. The next thing we can do is develop a process orientation. When you go through life, do you play to win? Are you hyper-focused on it rather than processing what is happening before you? Let's stop and place some value on the process of doing things and not just being focused on what the result will be. In other words, stop and smell them roses, brew! So that is going to be the end to this video. Remember, it's just about perfectionism. There's still about 3 or 4 more videos about the anxious personality styles that I will be covering. So if this one doesn't fit you, maybe another one does. Remember, we're letting go of that perfectionism, so if only one thing sticks, that's okay. We're doing the best we can. We're trying to unlearn what we've been taught, right? So I want to have a little insight moment for you, something that you can think about after watching this. I know there was so much information that we went through, but I want you to ask yourself what you feel the perfectionism may have started. Was it due to parents needing to overachieve? So just take your time, think about that. If you have a therapist, I would say process it with them. If it's just you, maybe you can just acknowledge like, oh, actually it comes from that, and how you can separate yourself from that, how you can begin to do that. And like I said, and all the other things I said in this video, you can start there. So just keep trying, do your best, and remember that you are worthy. So that is the end of this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share. Yes. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.